And hi everyone, today is the Power Portal series part 2. It's about the portal configuration. So I'll just move on. Just about me, who don't know, just in short, so I'm a techno-functional consultant with Redspire and I have overall 6+ years of experience in business applications. Just about my past, so I have worked with Accenture of NAT India and Microsoft India. In Belgium, I was working with Business and Decisions, currently with Redspire in UK, Glasgow, Scotland. So the agenda for today is the portal configuration. There are lots of things which are part of the configuration. We will see on high level how to basically, configure the basic website. There are a couple of ways to configure the portal components. So we have one is portal management app, which is the preferred option since we have a lot of ways to configure the portal, but this is the best way because we have all the control from this app. But still, as the person who is not a developer, it's a good start from the Portal Studio, which is also called as New Maker. Another option we have is Portal UI itself. If you have admin rights, we can do it directly from the website, just a basic configuration. And just for the one part of the portal is web page, which we can customize called wizard from the wizard itself. So I'll show you all the ways how we can configure the basic parts of the website or the portal. And we'll also see how the entities are structured for the portal, which is also called as CMS. CMS is nothing but the content management system. So basically the whole content of the portal is managed by these entities, and we'll be seeing that in detail. And again, configuring web pages, page template, web template, etc. are all kinds of entities which are part of the portal CMS entity. So we'll be seeing most of the entities in detail, and we'll be also seeing the practical today. And the demo, as I said, and Q&A in the end. In case if you would like to stop me in between, if you feel like you're stuck, you're not able to, progress further with one point, you can just stop me in between as well. So what we are going to see initially is when we basically provision a portal, how we get the portal. So basically I have a trial where I have provisioned a custom portal or a blank portal. We're going to see the screen and understand what kind of things we are going to configure today, and then we'll jump onto the basic theory and the whole demo of it. So let me just jump to here. If I go to the make.powerapps.com. So in this trial, I have not done anything. It's just the basic one where I have just installed the basic, the blank portal, which is called Portal Basic Configuration. I have just given name, and this is the app which comes when you configure the portal or you provision the portal. So if I click on this, we'll be seeing how the basic portal looks when you actually provision. So I'm going to teach you today in a little different way rather than just going on the concept and building it. So just understand how a website looks. So if you see the URL, it's basically when you paste a URL in a browser, you basically get rendered to a page, which is nothing but the web page of a portal content management system entity. So why I would like to show this page here to just let you know how the entities are divided. So if we see the URL, it's a URL of a website, which is nothing but the website entity record. So website is an entity which is a part of portal management app or a portal. So this is defined by a website entity record. And if you see this header, then we will see a body or a whole content here, and we have a footer. Right, so we will be seeing how to customize this whole header, how can we customize the main body, and how can we customize the footer. So if we see the header here, we will see some kind of menu here, like a home button, contact us, and in a menu we also have child menus or the child links. So what it is called in portal is a web link set. What is a web link set? Web link set is nothing but a set of links which is defined at one place. So let's say this is called a primary navigation. Primary navigation is nothing but the web link set entity. And web link set entity is a combination of child links. So if you see this link, it's called the web links. And here, since we have multiple options within a one web link, is called child web links of this particular web link. Just to understand the kind of terms of the portal, and if you see the header and the body, so whenever you like click somewhere, you will be rendered at particular content or particular page. This page is nothing but the web page of the portal. Web page is also an entity where we define the records. So whatever content is gonna come is gonna always come from the web page. So if you see the URL here, just to understand how can we find out the web pages given in the system. So if you see that till.com, it's a basic website URL. But if you see after the slash, there is something, and after the slash, there is something. So how the pages are structured in portal is very simple. If you see this particular URL, for this, the parent is this. So it means the web page where the partial URL is page is having a parent page is this one. Similarly, a web page which has a URL or a partial URL is given as this, a parent for this is gonna be the home. So this is a basic need that we need to understand as a developer or as a consultant, whoever is gonna configure it. This is how the web pages are structured. Now, when you say a web page, this is what is shown from the web page. No, web page just helps us in rendering the content here. So web page can render an entity form from Dynamics, can render a web form from Dynamics, can render an entity list or a Dynamics view, can also render whatever coding or whatever custom design or the pattern we want to display on the particular page. So that can always be rendered, but the web page is the main calling point which calls the page template. So page template basically defines what kind of template or content is gonna rendered off. And then the content can be, as I said, entity, form, view, or anything, or can be your own HTML liquid code. So it can be rendered from the web template. And if we see down is again the footer. Footer is defined as part of a web template. And here also we can have multiple options if we would like to have menus in footer as well, like helping or chat with us or a support option. We can have those kind of links as well. And the background picture, as we see here, let's say on the home page, can also be customized. So everything is customizable. We will be seeing the basic configuration today. So let's jump to the slides and see the basic entity structure and their definitions, and then we'll be seeing the demo. So portal entity structure is the main entity of the portal is website. So either call it a portal or call it a website, it's the same thing, but the entity comes with the portal provisioning is called a website, and all other entities which are we're gonna see is a child of this particular entity. So if you understand now, let's say what are these basic entities. So website, as we understand, it just defines the URL of the website. Website binding. Website binding is nothing but, let's say you have a Dynamics instance and you have n number of portals within the particular environment. What it means is on the same server, you gonna, render the multiple websites. So website binding is an entity record which helps us or help the server to identify which particular portal is being rendered at a time. So this is the main entity record after the website, because when you do kind of deployments, like when you move portal data or you do deployment from one environment to another, this is the only record can cause the issues, because this record should be uniquely present in the system. It cannot be duplicated. It cannot be like it's not present in the system. Next one is web link set, and the web links, as we have seen that these two entities are basically used to form the menu of your website. Site settings, as the name suggests, site setting is nothing but the website setting. So site setting can be of two types. It can be, site settings can be defined globally for all your portals defined for one environment, or site setting can also be defined for particular website. We'll be seeing how the site settings, what kind of site settings we have out of the box, and can we create extra or not. Next one is a web page. As I told, that web page is a basically main point which helps in rendering the content, which calls the page template, and page template calls the web template. So this three structure is the main that we need to understand, because these are okay. This is just one-time setup, but whenever you want to have any kind of design on your portal, anything, you will always, create web pages or customize the web pages. And if you customize the web page, you need to understand the chain here or the linking. So again, these four things can be used in multiple ways. So entity form, a web page can render an entity form, can render an entity list, can render a web file. And we'll be seeing details like what are the web files, and the content snippets is also one kind of entity Basically, we generally call the content snippets via the web template using the Liquid code. So let's go next. Let's understand in little more detail what the website is and what this entity does. So it's the main core entity of the portal application, and your website as a responsive. What do I mean by responsive as? So let's say you just change your screen size. Your website is always responsive, means that you can see the menu is being responsive as per your page size. So let's say I make my page little smaller, and if you see here, the options are coming now here, like they are collapsed, because portal-based Power Apps portal uses a Bootstrap, which provides the responsive functionality. So that's why our website is responsive here. Again, the important thing is, since portal is all maintained by its records, its entity data, so it's very, very important to keep the kind of backup for all your records. Otherwise, what happens, since website record is a parent for all other records of the website, or if we understand website is just one record which is containing or the related to all other records, if you delete this record, all other whole portal configuration data is gonna go. So this is a key point. So let me just show you in Dynamics how does the website record look. So if I go to if I go to apps and portal management, last time we have seen how this app comes when we provision the portal. So if you see in the left hand, we have a couple of entities, few names we have seen as part of entity structure. So main your website, if you see the website, page template, redirect, site marker, site settings, lots of entities are part of website settings, I would say. And the main is the content, whatever content comes are part of these entities, and then comes the security. So let's say I just have one portal provisioned in my environment. So I see one website record. If I have two portals provisioned, I will see two website record. And what this record contains, if you see that, it contains the name. It contains basically the URL that we have just seen here, portalbasicconfig.powerappsportals.com. And after that, we see the language. Since my portal is an English language, it can have multiple languages if we provision it in different languages, or we can enable languages later as well. And we see options here called header template, footer template. These are nothing but the web templates. So the main important part that I wanted to show as part of this record is, if you see the root pages. So root page for any website can be just one. What is the root page? This is a root page. Whenever you log into the website, this is the main page from where you will start your journey. Whatever is the user journey, you're going to start right from the root page. Child pages are nothing but all your web pages. So web pages, so all your web pages are related to this particular website, all your content snippets, web link sets, site settings, and whatnot. So all your other entities are related to this particular website record. So it's very important that, as we know, portal is just part of how it's configured, just based on all the records. But apart from all the records, if you just delete this record, whole your configuration is just gonna go. So this is how your website record looks. And let's jump to the next one, is the website bindings. So website binding, if you understand the concept behind the IIS, Internet Information Server, the way it maintains all the websites on the same server, similarly, our website bindings are handled in portal configuration. So let's say, as I already said, let's say single Dynamics instance host multiple portals. The website binding records tells the portal what to display based on the name of the site in the IIS. So basically this record, website bindings have three main parameters, or the fields or the columns: name, website, and the site name. So basically it just binds a website with the name and the site name. So website binding, as I said, when you especially do a deployment, you may face these kind of issues where the website bindings can be duplicated or not presented. So if you see, for my one website, I have one record, and if I open that, you see the name of my portal. If the site name is basically the URL, so it's kind of a web.config or app.config, where we have application settings, we have site name this, which binds with this particular website, and this website, as we have seen, it's here. So this is how this website binding works. It's just the basic one, but it's the important when you actually move data across the environments. Let's see, the next one is the site settings. So site setting is basically the overall setting for your website or for multiple websites within the environment. So if you see that global portal settings can be applied across all the portals which are part of common data service environment, and portal site settings are specific to the particular website. The example that I have given here is, let's say when you log into the website or the portal, you see, let's say, lots of login sign-in options available. But in your requirement, if you would like to just switch off all the options, rather you just would like to show only the Azure AD sign-in, just go ahead to the site setting, choose all these options and set this setting as false. So I'll just show you how this looks. So let's go to the site settings. And if I am here, if I say sign in, and if you see that I have options called as your AD, register, redeem invitation, and multiple options here, right? So I can just go ahead and I can just search with, so site setting is nothing but just the, kind of a key value pair. So if you see this, it's enabled as true. If I make it false, and this option is gonna go from here. So this is how site settings are applied across the portal or across the multiple portals within the environment. Web link sets and web links. So web link sets and web links, basically these two entities helps us in creating the menu of your website. So as I have shown that on the header, there were like contact us, sample pages and multiple pages. So forming those particular menus, we use these two particular entities. So if I show you these into the system, if I go here, if I go to the web link set, as they are forming the content of your website, that's why the entities are by default comes as part of this area or a group. So if you see out of the box, we get these web link sets. So you see primary navigation, footer, default, profile navigation, secondary navigation. If I open the primary navigation, you will see here multiple web links. So you see home, contact us and the sample pages. So if I go here and show you again, let me just click on home button. You see home, you see contact us and the sample pages. Now the thing here is, if you see that on home, just the image is visible, but on other there is a text. So it's just nothing but the way you set the record of the web link. So if I open this record, you will see that if you come down, there is an option to show the image only, and they are just using the out of the box CSS image called Fafa Home. So that's how this is just showing the image, while in other records, they are not using this option and hence the text is visible. So it's up to us as per our requirement what we want. So this is how these three links are visible. We'll be adding one more and multiple child links and see how they look. So here one key point is, if you see there are multiple web link sets or menus, these things are given, but we really don't know how it's being shown on header. Why it's not being shown anywhere else, but there is no related links or anything that we can find out, no web page, nothing is given. So the best way to find it out, I would say that if you know the web link set name, let's say it's a primary navigation, because definitely what is rendered here is always somewhere from a liquid or directly from a web page, as I said, from the web template. So there is one way to find it out, as if we don't know, like which menu is used actually where. If we have our custom menus, so we can always go to the advanced find and have some filters applied, which will always help us in understanding which web template or the page template where it's exactly being used. So let's just advanced find be open. And one more thing, till the time it's opening here, as we see, this web link set alone does not do anything if it does not have any kind of web links defined here. If I open again the one web link record, so if you see that, this web link record is part of this web link set and it does not have any parent web link. What does it mean is, if I go here, if you see all these links, so all these child links will be having parent as this particular link, but this does not have any parent link for the contact us or for the home. And if you see on click of that itself, we are rendering to particular page, which is nothing but the web page. So if I click on this, You will see it's a web page, and we'll be also seeing the definition how the web page looks, but just to high level. So it is basically rendering this web page, which calls the page template, which is this. If I click on this, so if you say it calls the web template, this is how the chain always work. And in case if I just click on this web template, you will see some liquid HTML code here, which is a part of your home button or something like that. So this is how the basic entity structure it looks, but I'm just still checking. So advanced find is taking time. Let it just load. So basically, we just go here and just to check which web template used, which particular web link set. So if I say that if you have multiple websites, just give a check like which website you have, but I know that I have just one website. So you can say that because web template just contains 3 fields. One is the name of the web template, other is the source, which contains all the liquid code, as you can see here, and another one is the website. So we can just give filter, and another one you can just say that source contains, let's say primary, it was the primary navigation, I suppose. So you say primary and say results. It might show you the header and the poll template. So if you definitely it must be used in the header. That's why we can see the menu in the header. So if I go here, don't worry about the code, just to show you how can we find out where it's being used, because we'll be looking in the next session about the liquid, how does it work. So if you see somewhere here, the web link set is being used called primary navigation. That's how it's being rendered on the header. In the page, it's being rendered on the header, not on the body, not on the footer. So this is how basic things. Advanced find gonna help us a lot when finding the particular web page, page template, or any kind of records for the portal. So let's jump to the slides again and understand other entities as well. Web file. So web file, as the name suggests, it's basically to store the content of a given file. So let me take a good example here. Let's say that you have a background picture we have seen in the custom portal here. If I go again, so you see this picture here. Definitely this picture must be stored somewhere, and that's how it's rendering or taking from somewhere source. So the source generally we use in portal is called web file record, and web file record is nothing but a normal kind of a dynamics record which use the notes and attachment section, which contains a particular file of image or any kind of file it contains. So this is how this image is loaded, and how to find out which file, but this particular image is in which file. So just to find out the basic, kind of picture or CSS content, always right click and click on inspect, which helps us in finding the, exact file, especially for the web file. So let's say if I select this image, again, don't worry about this coding and things, but just to understand where exactly the file will be present. So if I come here and if I again select the proper image, and if you see that here, home hero is the same image, which is actually present in theme.css file. If you see just here on the top, and 1010 is the line number. So let's jump to the web file and see where exactly this file is present. And we'll be changing that file and seeing how does it looks. So if you see this web file is having the home hero JPG. If I go there, so if I go to the notes and if I see here, there must be something in the notes. And if I open this, it should be the similar image, this one. And now, but since we have seen, this is a part of web file, but it's being used in the theme.css file. So again, click on the web files and go to the theme.css. We know it's being used here. And if I go to the notes and click on theme.css and open this, we can open this file in Notepad++ as well if you don't have Visual Studio. So just open in like a .css or any kind of file. We'll be seeing the code here shortly. So if I search for, I think I saw that home hero. So this is where the file is being used. So similarly, we can create multiple web files and change the picture directly from here, and the picture will be changed. But what we need to do, just save this theme.css and upload it again. So whatever is the latest file given in any web file record will be shown, will be basically rendering on the website. So this is how web file records work. So one of the example that I mostly use web files records whenever I want to have multiple, KB articles shown on the portal to show the basic screenshot or something like that. I will store in the web file and just use in the KB article records content. So web pages are nothing but, as we have seen, just to help us in rendering the content whatever we want. It can be views, forms, or directly the content of HTML from the web template. But the main thing, whenever we create a web page, the mandatory part is the page templates, because it defines in which form or how the particular content is gonna look. So page templates are necessary when creating a brand new SPX page to display content on your website. Web templates are used to render the web pages. Web template has few codes in liquid format or can have HTML, CSS, or whatever. Create a web template and write a liquid code. So whenever we use, the page template and web template, we create and write a liquid code. Details we'll be seeing in the next session for the liquid code. Create a page template is just the basic record or the intermittent record which connects web page to the web template. And there can be one more option when you actually create a page template. It asks you to use the out-of-the-box ASPX pages, which is nothing but the rewrite option. And one is the web template. So let's see how the web page record looks in the system. So if I go to here, let's see the web page. So let's start with the home page. How does it look? So if I go to the home page, if I just open this, so what is the important when you start the basic configuration of the portal? So let's say this is a home page. This is the name used for this website. There is no parent page for home page as this is the main root page. But for each other page, we will be having a parent page. It can be home or can be anything. Partial URL is just slash because my home URL is just this, nothing else after the slash. Page template is being used this. So web template, a web page calls the page template. So if I click on this, it just calls the web template. That's all. And there can be one more option called rewrite. So if I click on rewrite, I'll show you some pages which has the rewrite option and just use out of the box full .aspx pages. If you have plans to render, let's say your web page, you would like to render a web form, entity list, entity form. We don't actually need a web template render any HTML content because we just want to render out of the box options. So we will just select out of the box full page template. We'll be seeing what all page templates are available here. So let's see this again. So web page calls the page template calls the web templates. So if I click on this, you will see some code, just the basic coding for your home page. That's all. So this is how your web page record looks. And if I show you basic page templates, if I go here and web template and the page templates. Oh, yeah, it's here. So you see out of the box, whenever you provision a portal, you will get a few out of the box page templates. So if you see, those page templates are mainly using the rewrite URL because in case, let's say you want to, on particular option, when you click, you just want to show access denied page. So you can use this out of the box page template. So this is how we have a couple of page templates defined. We can define our own depending on the requirement. Similarly, web templates, we get a couple of web templates when we provision a portal. So there are a lot many web templates are there. We can create our own as well. So let's jump to the slides and then shortly we will see the demo. So let's say we would like to render an entity form. So what is the entity form? I would say, let's say there's a dynamics form of account entity, let's say information or the main form, and you would like to show that form on your website. So there is no way to actually directly use that particular form and show on your website. Rather, there is an entity called entity form, which connects, basically have a lookup of an entity and selecting the particular form. And this entity form can be used via web page to be shown. As we have seen on the web page, there is an option to select the entity form. But the one good thing is using the Dynamics form, we can have multiple operations, multiple things to be applied on this entity form. Let's say you would, on your website, you would like to create the account records. So you can create an entity form using the Dynamics form and create this particular entity form in the insert mode. Or you just want to see the details of the record, you will say the edit form or the read only form. A couple of notes, not important at this moment, but I can't go back. Couple of notes are there for that, but let's say you on your Dynamics entity form, you are using the multi-select option set and using some business rules which will not be rendered. So there are some limitations, but not important at this moment. And we can definitely apply the security on the entity forms while rendering on the portal, but we'll be seeing that in the security session. Next one is the entity list. Entity list is nothing but again showing the Dynamics views, or let's say account has the active account view. We would like to render that on the portal. We need to use the entity list record to help us in rendering the Dynamics view. And in portal, when you use the view, we can set the pagination thing, how many records per page we would like to show. And when we click on each record in the list, how does it open the record? So we can set that as well. There is something called ID query string parameter name. It appends in your basically in your URL, and it helps us in opening the particular record with the ID. Again, note as multi-select option set field is not supported in the view. Next one is the web form. So web form has lot more functionalities, but on high level, what it is, again, the same as the showing the Dynamics form, but showing your Dynamics form, let's say your account form, information form has multiple tabs defined, and you would like to show on your portal, let's say in the step 1, you would like to say tab 1, then tab 2, tab 3, tab 4. What happens here? Web form maintain the sessions of each step. So let's say you have 5 steps or 5 tabs to be shown in the next, or kind of a business process on a high level. If you understand the Dynamics, how the business process flow works. So using the web form, we can create multiple steps. Let's say you have tab 1, tab 2, tab 3. Initially, customer gives the basic information and then gives the educational information, then gives the payment information, anything. And how the web form actually works, it stores or make the history of one step, then goes to the next. So there are a couple of abilities that web form has, but to understand on high level, web form basically help us in rendering Dynamics entity form in multiple steps. To show, let's say you are doing some insurance page fill up, you give the basic details, then you go to the next page, then you go to the next page again and submit your form. So we'll create one web form and see how does it look. Next one is the content snippet. So content snippet is basically, let's say you have 10 web pages, and on all web pages, you would like to use one static word. So in future, if you would like to change the static word, you need to go to the all web pages or the web template and change that. So there is something called content snippet basically. So it's again the key value pair. So if you use this particular function, you just need to change in one record, and all places it will be changed. So content snippets are generally called by the web template. And one more thing that can be handled by content snippet is, let's say you have your portal enabled for 5 languages. So let's say you say somewhere written as Glasgow, or maybe let's say someone's name or anything you would like to show in different languages. So whenever you enable an extra language later in your portal, content snippet for the same will be created in a different language. It just the value need to be replaced in particular language. So this is how the content snippets help us and maintaining the content easily. Next one is, let's see how to configure all this. The prerequisites, I would say, need to decide which entity we're going to render and the form of the entity and the view. So let's jump and see how we configure all these things which we have seen. A lot of theory. Now let's do some practical. So we will start the basic practical from this portal management app. Then we will see some part from the portal management studio, and then from the UI. So let's say I have this custom portal here, and I would like to start customizing or configuring it right from the top. So I would like to just add some, some option here. Let's say last scenario we have taken about cycle. cycle store basically. So let's say we add something called about cycles and we give multiple options. So one prerequisite, as I said, I have in my trial instance one entity called cycle is a custom entity and which has 2-3 views defined like men cycle, women cycle, etc. and just one form. So just to see what I have just as a customization is, it's a very little one, but still just to show you what will be rendering on the website. So I have a cycle entity, and if I go within this entity, just have 3 to 4 fields. So the form that I'm gonna use, let's say cycle form, and if I open this form here, has the basic fields, model number, cycle type, gender, color, etc., and the price. And I have views as well. So to show how to show, how to render basically dynamics view, we'll be seeing that. So I have, let's say, men's bikes, women's bikes, etc. So this is the basic, just one entity views and forms I have created. So let's jump here and let's go to the web link set and start doing the configuration. A lot of theory is already done. So let's go to the primary navigation. As we have seen, it's shown on the header. Go to the links and click a new web link here within the web link set. Let's say I want, let's say, about cycles. About cycles. And publishing state, what does this particular field says as, if you say it draft, it means that the changes which you are doing here will not be shown on the portal now, but we want to see the changes, that's why I'm making it published. Parent babbling. So how we gonna show it? Let's say we have one option like this, and then within we have multiple options. So for this, I will not take any parent web link. So I will just leave it blank, and page I don't want to show anything, rather I will have multiple options within one of my link and nothing. I will just save it. And we can also give the order here somewhere. I think display order, I think there are already 1, 2, 3. So let's give the order as 4 and just save the record again. Go back and we'll be seeing one more link is given here as about cycles. And now, so let's say first how this is being rendered on the portal, then we'll configure other parts of it. So if I go here, portal authentication, I'm not going to cover today, but definitely I'll cover it maybe next session. So today, just the basic overview, how when you configure this part, we will be logging in and we need one login. Why? Whenever we configure anything in the portal, there's a cache. So if you don't log in as an admin, you won't be able to clear the cache quickly. So I have one, login available. So how did I do it? I'll just show you on the high level. Just the very, very basic one. If you click on the register, if you give your email, let's say, so that you can continue with the configuration. Let's say, Meena, and password is. And when you click on register, what happens? It just creates one contact record in the Dynamics. So portal users which you log in with, nothing but the portal user is equal to the Dynamics contact record. Just understand that at this point. So once I click on register, it comes with the form that you give more details if you would like. So let's say if I say, and I say just update my information. If I go here and in this app itself, if you see the contacts, you say active contacts and say Meena Gupta, you will see this contact is coming here. So it just so how do I know, like this is a portal authentication user that I have set up, but just to give the admin rights, how does it work in portal? In Dynamics, it's a security rule. In portal, it's called as web rules. Just give the admin which comes by default. For now, we are not bothering about security or anything for now. So just save and close, and we can then log in with this particular user. Why I want to log in? Because it helps me in clearing the cache and seeing my changes are reflected, my changes are being reflected or not. So let's say I logged in with this user, and how to clear the cache to see the changes quickly, just go here and just give common thing called / this and services about. So this if we give, we can see one page which helps us in clearing the cache. Just a moment, let me log in with sign out and log in again. Okay, so here we have just given one link. Again, let's just see so that we can see how our changes are gonna look. If I see this and about cycles at the primary navigation, and there is no page and nothing is given. So if I say that, sorry, Mini Gupta, and clear the cache. So this page comes up, just click on clear cache, nothing else. Just say clear cache and it clears the cache and show you your changes basically. So it's a quick way to clear the cache. So if I go here again, and do we see? Yes, so we see this option called about cycle, but nothing will happen if we click on this because we have not given anything. So let's create some child links like this here. Like we want to see, for example, all cycles or men cycle, women cycle, like that. We will see how to render entity view there and the entity form. So let's go ahead and add a new web link here. Let's say I would like to see all cycles. Cycle, and publishing state is again as published. Parent web link, definitely I want about cycle because I would like to see this link within this. So let's save it. Again, when we have this as a child link, when we click on that, nothing is gonna render because we haven't selected any page to be rendered right for the moment. So let's just create child links and then we will work out on the web pages. So we have not given order. I think that should be fine because it's a parent one. So let's give again. We would like to see men's bikes. Publishing status published. Parent web link we want again within the about cycle, and page we will define just after creating all the links to show the different options. Let's create one more call. Women bikes, and publishing state is again published, and parent web link is about cycle. That's enough, I guess. So let's go ahead and clear the cache and see our changes. So if we go here and clear the cache, yep, just remove this and go here. Yep, so here we see all multiple options now. It's just creating the records and understanding how the linking is there. So let's see, when we click on this, nothing is going to happen. Again, we have not defined any web page. So let's say on all cycles, we would like to see an entity list or a dynamics entity view. And on all these three, we will be seeing the views, but let's say some different options. For example, later if we have security, and when we see all cycles, a person should have ability to create a new record of cycle from there itself and have ability when he clicks on the record from the grid to see the more details. So as we have seen, on click of this, we will be calling a web page, right? So let's go and have this whole chain here. Let's say all cycles is my link. For this, I need to create a web page, right? When I create a web page, what I would like to show on the web page, I would like to render a dynamics view. So how the dynamics view will be rendered? Via the entity list. So the referential, if I notice, first I need to create the entity list. Then it will make sense, to create the high level web page and then use in this particular link. So let's duplicate this and leave it as is. And if I go to the entity list option, in each entity, each record, there are a lot many options, but we'll be seeing just on high level just to cover the basic part. So let's say I want to say that I would like to see all cycles view. So let's say all and entity name, as I created my custom entity, I would say cycle. Website, I just have one, so just select one. Which view I would like to render? So I would like to render just the active cycles view. So let's just save this record. And I have multiple options. If I go here, so grid configuration, what does it mean? The grid that is going to be visible on the page, would you actually like to show anything else? Let's say view actions. What does it mean? View details. Let's say, okay, let's just show the basic one and then we'll be jumping to this one to not confuse very much. So let's create multiple entity list. One, let's create for men bikes. Entity, again, I'm gonna use the cycle. Website is the custom portal. I have gonna use the view called man bikes. It's nothing in this view. I have just given a filter criteria where type of the bikes is equal to man. So let me just save it. Where's my mouse? Oh yeah, it's here. Save it. And let's create one more. So we'll be seeing then different options how to render it. Let's say we want the woman bikes. So just to show you here, I have added just one more area called data and the cycle. So I have the basic data here. So let's say all cycles are 14, but for the man and female, we have different ones. So let's say this and apply. So we have some for male and some for female. So let's say we have now created some entity list, right? Now we need to create a web page to render that particular entity list. So I'm going here again as we have entity list ready. Let's go to the web page and create a web page for to show all cycles. So I would say all cycle web page. We can't create in one web page calling multiple lists. We need to have a separate web page to show a different content. So let's say I have a website test parent page. Let's take home. We can take any other parent page if we would like. Partial URL. Let's say I want to call as all cycles. This is what is gonna be visible in Splash and that all cycles. Ivan, you want control now?
No from Ivan. He missed.
Okay. Okay.
You had your turn.
Oh, okay. Cool. So here page template, I'm just gonna use the default one because today we are not seeing how to write code into the web template. So I'm just using out of the box full page. Publishing state, I'm gonna just give published. And let's say I'm gonna render the entity list. So I say all cycles and I just save it. So I have one web page for all cycles to show all cycles which gonna render this particular entity list. Yes, so let's quickly create other web pages as well, and then we will be seeing. So let's say we say women cycles web page. Website is same again. Parent page, let's say home. Partial URL, let's say women cycles. Page template again the same as we're gonna not write the code today in that web template. Let's say entity list, we want the women bikes and save it. And just one more. Cycle web page, website, and let's say men cycles page template. Let's say full one again because I didn't select the parent page here. Let me just say home, publishing. Let's say published. Entity list again is the men bikes and save it. Now we have all three pages ready, which is gonna render these three lists. So now we are again gonna go to the web link set, open ARTS1 and gonna use in the particular link. So let me open all cycles. Here I'm gonna render all cycles web page, right? And again, if I go to the men bikes, I'm gonna use the page called men cycle web page. If I go back, women cycle web page here. Yeah. So now all the links are ready. On click, gonna render some kind of list on the website. So let me just clear the cache again. It's the same option, clear the cache, and just go here and see how the lists are going to render. So let's say about cycle, if I click on all cycle, what's happening? Let's see. So we see all these, all the view details here. So I had 34, but the page size is given as 7. Let's see, where is that given? How does it come? So let's see entity list again of all cycle. Where did I give the page size as? Okay, it's 10. So on the next one, it's gonna be just the 4 records. That's right. So this is how we see the, basic entity list. And we also have a create option, but nothing is going to happen because there is no form and nothing is defined on create. So all this we need to define. We'll be seeing that how to use the entity form to create the record. And again, if we click on men bikes, we'll be seeing the basic list here again. And similarly with the women's bikes. So just the basic entity list rendering. Now let's see how we can configure this grid more in a better way. Let's see if we see all cycles. We would like to see an option to click on this record and see the details. Similarly, to create a new record. So let's go here. There is a, one good way that I like about it. So let's first have entity forms defined for creating the record and for viewing the record. So let's say I say a new entity form similar to the entity list. And I say that let's say cycle create entity form or the insert mode, anything we can call it. An entity, we're gonna use cycle. And if I say form name, I have cycle form. Would you like to just show any particular tab? We can select, or if you don't want just the whole form, just select as nothing. Mode as insert. I would like to create a record. So website, I want this one. So let me just save it. And I will define another entity form. Let's say cycle view details entity form. And here I say cycles and say cycle form. I don't want any form and I say just the read only. And I say resource type is a query string. What do I mean? Whenever I click on any record, based on the ID of the record, it's just gonna display me. So let's just say custom portal yes. So I have two entity forms defined. Now we can just go here in the web pages again. Sorry, entity list. So we can configure our entity list a little better. So if we go to the options, we will be seeing here grid configuration. And here, if you see, there are a lot of options that we can do. So let's say we want to create a record, right? So which entity form we will be using while the, the record is being created. So I want to use this entity form. And button label we can change if we want. Let's say create cycle. It doesn't look good. Let's just say create. And we also would like to have one more option. Let's say we want to see the item details. We say that entity form, which form we want to use is cycle view details form, and let's say call as view details about it, or we can just rename anything we would like. So we have two grid configuration for create and for seeing the details of the record. That these two things we are gonna configure. Let's just save it and see how does it look. Again, I'm just gonna clear the cache. And going back and see whether entity form is being rendered correctly or not. All cycles. And if I see create, if I click on that now, it should render the, oh yeah, it renders the form. So we can add multiple records. Let's say we have cycle 0098 model number. Cycle type can be anything, and we can just select colors and let's say 500 and say submit. And this is how it's just out of the box. Dynamics entity form is rendered. We created a record will be included in this grid as well. And another option that we have added is to view the details of the existing record. Either you can click on this, and if you see here, we have given name as view details. Click on this, all the details are visible here. So this is how we can configure, the basic entity list entity forms. Another one is the web form. It's the same way, but we will just create one and then we will customize, let's say, a background of this particular website. Sorry, I'm gonna stretch a little bit, 10-15 minutes, if that's okay. Claire, is that okay if we stretch like for 10 minutes?
I was stuck muted. Fine with me, guys.
Cool. So let's quickly just see how to create a web form and render it, and then we'll see the basic, the coloring and themes, how to change all that. So web form, as I said, is again gonna use a dynamics form, but you can use multiple tabs to show in a different steps. So we'll just see the basic structure. How does it look? So when you create a web form, let's say you would like to have just onboard an employee, let's say. So I would say that employee onboard web form, and website is again same. So we need to have multiple steps to be used in this particular form. So let's just save it and create multiple steps, and then use which is going to be the first step and which is going to be the next step for that particular step. So if I go to the web form step here, and let's say I want to give name, which entity I can use? I think I can use a contact entity. Let's say contact, and I think I have one form here. Next step is this load form. That's correct. Target entity logic level name. Let's say contact step 1, and just save it. And if I go to the form definition, definitely. So let's say if I'm gonna use particular entity and its form, I go to the contact, and here I have a form name. Okay, so let's select a contact web form. I think I just created one with the different tabs. So let's say first is the summary or the personal info. So let's save it. So this is gonna be your first step, means just showing one tab, and then click on next, go to the another tab. So let me just go back and create a next step here. Next web form step. So let's say contact step 2. And here again, entity name as the contact. Yep. And here form definition. So which form and which tab, as we are going to select the contact web form. And let's say next step, we want just the address info, and just save it. And another tab we would like to have is a summary tab. Summary tab. So let's see, we have here a contact, then form definitions. We're gonna use the contact web form, and we're gonna use this particular summary tabs. Now we have defined multiple web form steps just by defining the entity name, form name, and we have defined the which tab is gonna be in the which step. Now if I go to the web form again, so this is my web form, and I would like to have a start step here as my step 1, right? So I save it. And after this step, I would like to configure a next step, which is gonna be the next step. So let's just come up and contact step 2. And if I click on this, it's the next step is, let's say, the final step, what we have. So here, let's say assembly. And definitely it's not just the form tabs which we can show in each step. We can even have our external URL which we want to show on next step. So here is in the form definition, or I think in the form options, we not show this. Yeah, so here if you see that type load form, or you want to redirect to somewhere else, or you would like to do something else, some conditional based step, we can definitely do. But the basic one is just to show different tabs of the dynamics form. So let's say our web form is configured. Now we would like to show this web form on the portal. Again, to render anything on the portal, we need to create a web page and use this web form there. So let's go to the web page and create a new web page. Let's say we want to have employee onboarding web page, right? So website is, let's say, this, parent, let's say, as home, again partial URL. Let me just take this edges. Employee onboarding web page, or just let me just delete this. And here page template, let's take again as full. Publishing state, let's take as published. And web form, which this web page is gonna render, is this one. So let's save it. But again, so for the web page, we can create the web link again and do this, or else just use this particular partial URL just to test your changes, and go here and do the clear the cache. And just, as we have given partial URL as something, and the parent is home. So if you click on this, it should render the web form that we have created just now. Let's see how does it look. Oh my God, so many information. Sorry for that, but it's just the basics. So if we see, and there is one more thing that we can show, first the step, second step, next step, there is an option. If we go here to the web form, there is an option to take if you would like to show as a progress bar. So if you come down, it will ask somewhere, yeah, progress indicator if you want to enable. So if I enable this, what just happens here is the difference is if I clear the cache, go back again to the same link. You will see like step 1, step 2, step 3, but we cannot just jump to the step 2 before completing the step 1 because it maintains the history of the previous step to the next step. So here, if nothing fields are mandatory, just go next and see how does it go to the next one. If the fields are mandatory, it will just not ask just to skip the fields. Just say test and we can just say done and then next. And this is how we can actually render different tabs and particular steps. Kind of looks like a business process on the portal. And submit is finally submission of the record that we are creating. So this is how the web form works. And let's just quickly jump to the, so we have covered entity form, entity list, and the web form. Let's see the basic things. So let's say you see this picture and we would like to change this and this content and whatever is given here. So before this, I would just jump to the portal editor and what all we can customize from the portal editor. So let me just go to the make.powerapps.com and then we will see directly how to change the content on the pages. So if I go to the apps again and go to my proper environment and go to the apps. So here you just need to click on edit and it will show you the portal studio or just the changes where you can make directly. So how does it look as? So if you see that it basically portal studio cannot control everything from here, but it's the basically editor for people who does not have developer skills, rather just drag and drop the components. So the basic pages can be set up from here. For example, let's say you would like to say a new page and you use any of the existing page layout. So here you can see all the pages hierarchy that we have created just now, which is the child of page. And next is the option when you create your own page to add, kind of a 1 column section, 2 column section, and then portal components. List is nothing but the entity list. This is nothing but the entity form. And images, text, whatever you would like to add. Next one is to change the theme of the portal, or basically what you see here, you can just change that. And then you have just the basic templates details here. So let's say I want to create my own page and I see this. Let's drag some or the other component. Let's say 2-page column. We have this. Now here we would like to just have, let's say, an image. And when we select image here, nothing but when we click here and upload image, let's say 3 leaves, or let me just, take another image. Yeah, so let's say I have this image here. And I would like to, so this is how the web page we can design directly from here if we don't want to use like the portal record. So if I go to the components here and let's say I would like to render here of, let me just come down, and here is the 2 column section. If I say 1 column section again down, and in this I would like to actually render let's say a form, entity form we have already seen. So here we need to just use existing one and we can just select whatever entity form we created from there. So let's say cycle view details, and there are many options. Don't worry about them now. And whatever changes you do, no need to clear the cache the way I was doing. Just click on browse website and it will clear the cache and show you your changes. So you see the URL is coming like new page 1. We can just change the URL from, if you select a web page, where is my web page? This is the one. You see the partial URL is this. We can change directly from here this. And you see this is how it's being rendered directly. And I have given the entity list, which is not coming because maybe some issue why it's not coming. Otherwise, the entity list also would have been rendered here. So this is how we can, add multiple contexts, like in the way we want to design and use the Power Apps Portal Studio as well to design the basic pages, changing the theme, etc. So let's see another way that I told. Let's say you have logged in as an admin. Few things you can change directly from here. Let's say you see this is nothing but the content snippet. If you click on edit, you can just change the content directly from here. Okay, because I was here as the latest. So let me just click on this and go back. And if I go here as an admin, let me just log in. If you see this, any of the thing directly from this is helping us in knowing what page is this. So if you click on edit, you will be knowing the details around this page. This is a home web page and which is showing this content. You can change whatever you want. Cycle store, let's say you will buy any kind of cycle or anything, whatever we want to write, we can directly change it from here and save it. Here again, no need to clear the cache. It will just help you in clearing the cache and showing the content that you updated just now. But the only thing is using the Portal Studio and this admin part, you can just do some kind of configuration, but not all. You cannot add multiple options here directly, but you can definitely see. So you say edit primary navigation, you will see all this. You can edit this, you will see all the details around this. This is the home navigation link. It shows the image only, and this is the image that is being shown. You can definitely add, but not recommended to, adding some content from here just to understand how they are linked. Let's say this is my link, which has a child link as this. You can delete, you can edit, you can add more, but not recommended from here because the structure won't be that clear from here. So if you click on edit, you can add many more files. Child files is nothing for the web files to upload the picture. So let's say we want to change the background picture with some cycle pic. So let's say cycle pic and choose file. I think I have one as this one I have chosen, and page parent page is home, partial URL is cycle pic to see whether my file is uploaded or not. Once I save it, if I go here and do this, so my cycle pic should be uploaded, like this. And we can always go here and see everything is here. So you go to the web files, the web file should be created as cycle pic. And if you go here, you see in the notes, a cycle pic is uploaded. Right now, last thing is to change the background here, right? So how to change the background? We have seen it's part of theme.css. Either go from the web file and update it and upload it, or go directly from here. Go to the theme.css, so basic one, theme.css, and you can change the code here itself. So if I say that Control F, hero somewhere, okay, hero, and I would like to update with my pic. So what is my pic? If I do like this and I have cycle pic, something like that I give, yeah. So how I need to give the location? Sorry, I have given the wrong one. How I need to give the location? Just after the home URL. So I need to give just like this. If I give here just the location of my picture and I say browse website, just to see if my changes are reflected or not. So let's see whether theme.css is uploaded or not. No, it's not. So oh, I didn't save, I think maybe that's the reason. And I say browse website. Oh, it's changed. So this is how the basic theme and all can be changed. If you know the CSS, it's It's, you can change anything you would like, but yeah, just the basic thing. If you click on this, you would like to change this. I didn't sign in. If I sign in again, I can change content directly from this admin box, what I just showed. If I sign in, the changes are not there because I need to sync configuration with my CDS. So the theme.css will be updated, but it's not now. So you can just click on this and change all the content like whatever you want here, or directly go to the content snippet and see this content where it's being rendered. So just to show you last entity, which I think I have not shown. So let's go to the content snippet and how does it look? So let's see, you see something called welcome right here. So if I go here, and rather than going from here, I would prefer from here, which is the content snippet, which is being rendered there. So content snippet, I say new condition where value contains, let's say welcome. So we'll get which content snippet is actually being used. There's home title is the content snippet name, and the value that is being rendered is called welcome. So if I go, I say welcome to my store and just save it, go there and just clear the cache and see whether the change is coming or not. So there are multiple ways we can change all this. Definitely we would have directly changed from the website UI as we were seeing the edit option, but to show you exactly where the content actually placed is in the content snippet. So this is how we can do basic configuration. Last but not the least, to create the web pages directly in the shorter place, we have something called, a wizard, which is basically just to say which website, what page you want, what title you want, layout, which one you want to use out of the box, and which basically publishing state, and just create, and basic web page will be created directly from here as well for your basic content. So there are 4 ways you can do customization, but the main thing is this particular app, which helps you in configuring all the records here. So this is how the basic portal configuration looks like. And let's jump to the slides where we are. I'm already, I think, made it a little late, but just go there. Portal editor, we have seen it just to help us in finding the pages hierarchy and how to add a basic page with particular components there. So this is how I end with the portal configuration. I know there are a lot of information that I have passed on, but the very basic one about the configuration, there are many options available in each entity record which can be explored. But yeah, for the basic configuration, I think this might help you guys. So that's all was from my end, and thank you everyone for joining and listening to me, being patient and listening carefully. Thank you so much.